When my son Elijah was born, the doctors told me he had a rare condition affecting his left leg. It wasn't life-threatening, but it would significantly limit his mobility if left untreated. The surgery he needed wasn't covered by insurance in full, and recovery would require months of physical therapy. As a single father working 2 jobs at a packaging plant, I knew it would take everything I had. But I also knew Elijah was worth every penny. For 2 years, I put away every spare dollar. I skipped vacations, holidays, and even most birthday celebrations for myself. Every overtime shift, every holiday bonus went into that fund. I opened a separate savings account just for it, $122,000 by last month. Elijah and I would check the balance every few weeks together. He'd smile and say, "Almost there, Dad," like he already knew how much this meant. My cousin Brianna came back into our lives around that same time. She'd lost her job and needed a place to stay while she got back on her feet. My sister Rachel let her move in for a bit, and since our families are close, Brianna was often at my house too. She was good with Elijah, brought him little toys, made him laugh. She asked a lot of questions about the surgery, about how we were saving for it, even which bank I used. I thought she was being supportive. Turns out she was planning something. Last Thursday during my lunch break, I logged into my bank account like I always do to move over a few dollars from my checking to the savings, but the screen blinked a number I wasn't prepared for. My dollars. My heart dropped. I checked the transfer history. 5 withdrawals spaced out over the past week, all to an unfamiliar account. I called the bank in a panic. They confirmed the transactions were authorized using my login from my own IP address. I knew then. It had to be someone who'd been in my house. Someone who knew my schedule. That night, Brianna posted an Instagram story, her on a plane holding up a glass of champagne. The next slide showed the Eiffel Tower. I felt sick. I called her immediately. No answer. I texted, nothing. Then the photos kept coming. Expensive meals, shopping bags from designer stores, spa visits. It was all out in the open. She didn't even bother hiding it. Rachel was horrified when I told her. She said Brianna claimed to have saved for the trip herself. But I knew better. The worst part came the next morning when Elijah showed me a keychain of the Eiffel Tower. Brianna had given him as a surprise. He held it in his little hand and said, "Isn't it cool, Dad? Now I have something from where cousin Brianna is." I couldn't find the words. I finally reached Brianna on WhatsApp. I confronted her, told her I knew what she'd done. Her reply, "Relax, Marcus. It's not like it's a life or death thing. Kids bounce back. I needed this trip. I've been so stressed." I sat there staring at the screen, stunned. My son's future, his ability to run, to play, to live a normal life, was just a vacation fund to her. I've saved every screenshot. I've printed every receipt, every message. I don't care that she's family. I'm going to the police first thing tomorrow morning. Because Elijah deserves better than this. And this time, I'm not staying silent. The police report was the first step, but it felt more like dropping a pebble into an ocean than making waves. When I sat across from the officer at the station, I handed over a folder thick with screenshots, every post Brianna had made, every transfer confirmation, every message. I laid it all out, her laughing with wine in hand, the receipts from Paris, the photos she sent to Elijah from the Eiffel Tower. The officer listened, took notes, but finally said, "Since she had access to your Wi-Fi and devices, this could fall into a gray area. We'll document it, but you may need to pursue this in civil court." Civil court. That meant time. That meant money I didn't have. I left the station with a case number and a sense of dread I couldn't shake. I was expecting some kind of justice, swift, undeniable. Instead, I got red tape. Meanwhile, Brianna was still living like nothing had happened. Her stories continued. Rooftop dinners, boutique shopping, even a spa day she labeled as a mental health necessity. Each post was like a slap in the face. She hadn't just stolen Elijah's chance at surgery, she was celebrating it. Rachel stepped up immediately. She was furious, not just for me, but for Elijah. "You're not going through this alone," she said, already organizing everything into a spreadsheet, tracking her sister's spending. "If the law won't hit her hard enough, we'll build a case so airtight she won't be able to buy a candy bar without a subpoena following her." That night, I sat Elijah down. He'd noticed the calendar was missing from the fridge, the one we'd used to count down the days until his surgery. I couldn't lie to him. I just said we had to wait a little longer. Is it because cousin Brianna needed the money more than me? He asked softly. It shattered something in me. No 7-year-old should be forced to understand betrayal from someone they love. I held him and told him we'd figure it out, that I'd never stop fighting for him. The next day, Brianna had the audacity to text me. Look, I get you're upset, but you're blowing this out of proportion. It's not like Elijah's dying. He'll be fine. Kids are resilient. I'll pay you back when I can. When she can. Like Elijah's recovery was something to slot into her calendar between hair appointments and brunches. Violet helped me find a lawyer who offered a free consultation. We went over everything, and he told me I had a solid civil case. She left a digital trail a mile long, he said, flipping through my documentation. And her social media is a gold mine. She's basically confessed to everything in public. We began preparing to file the suit. I wasn't just doing this for the money. I was doing this so she couldn't do it again to someone else. Because if she could take from a child and smile through it, who's to say where her line was? Then came the moment that truly pushed me over the edge. Brianna posted a video from a dinner party she hosted. She stood in front of a projection screen showing her Paris photos, raising a glass. Shout out to my cousin Marcus's savings account for making this possible. She laughed. Sorry, not sorry. Everyone in the room laughed with her. That was it. I wasn't going to let her laugh her way out of this. The court papers would be filed within the week. And when they were, Brianna would realize something she hadn't yet considered. I don't bluff, especially when it comes to my son. Rachel went to that ridiculous Paris-themed dinner party Brianna threw. I told her not to, said it was just another vanity parade, but Rachel had a plan. She didn't sneak around. She walked in with her phone out, recording everything. If she wants to flaunt what she stole, Rachel said, then let's make sure it's on the record. Brianna was in rare form, sipping champagne, passing around macarons, playing a slideshow of her trip on a projector screen like it was a wedding reception. Then came the video. She stood at a Parisian cafe, glass raised to the camera. Big thanks to my cousin Marcus's savings account, she grinned. None of this would have happened without your generosity. Sorry, not sorry. The room laughed. But when Rachel panned her camera around, some of the guests didn't look amused. A few looked downright uncomfortable. Rachel sent me the footage that night. I watched it twice. Then I forwarded it to my lawyer. The next day, we filed the paperwork. Brianna had no idea what was coming. Not yet, but she got the first taste when her job offer vanished. See, she'd finally landed something. Financial coordinator at a mid-sized company downtown. Rachel found the job listing weeks earlier. The position required handling budgets, vendor payments, even payroll. High trust, high responsibility. I sent the hiring manager a quiet email. No drama. Just links to Brianna's public social media. Her admitting to taking the money, flaunting stolen luxury items, mocking me and my son. That was all it took. They rescinded her offer the same day. That night, Brianna showed up at my door, screaming. You ruined my life, she shouted, pounding her fists on the door. I was gonna pay you back. That job was my chance, and you took it from me. Elijah was terrified. I had to call the police just to get her to leave. When the officers arrived, they recognized her from my previous reports. She backed off, but not before telling me I'd regret it. She was wrong. Her parents, who had been making excuses for weeks, finally saw the video from the party. Saw the bags, the shoes, the laughter. Saw her toast to the money meant to fix their great-nephew's leg. Their expressions changed. Her mom called me crying. We didn't know, she whispered. We really didn't. We thought you were exaggerating. Now they were on my side. They told Brianna she'd have to start paying it back immediately. They went through her purchases and began listing everything on resale websites, purses, shoes, sunglasses. Brianna freaked out. She locked herself in their guest room, posting cryptic Instagram stories about being betrayed by family and punished for trying to heal. But it didn't matter. The first payments started coming in. Small, but real. Her parents sent me the receipts. It's still not enough for Elijah's surgery yet, but it's something. More importantly, it's proof that the tide is turning. Rachel's kept documenting everything. Every tantrum Brianna throws, every manipulative post she makes. The family is split, some still trying to stay neutral, others distancing themselves quietly. but more and more are starting to see the truth. Brianna's starting to understand that playing the victim only works when people still believe you. And she's running out of believers. The court date is on the calendar. The balance is still short, but it's shrinking. I told Elijah we were back on the list for surgery. His face lit up like it was Christmas morning. That night, he curled up next to me on the couch and asked, "Will cousin Brianna still be mad when I can walk normal?" I didn't know how to answer that, but I do know this. I'm not stopping until every single dollar is accounted for. And Brianna, she's not partying in Paris anymore. She's watching her designer wardrobe get boxed up and sold piece by piece. Actions have consequences. She's just now learning that. Brianna didn't take the consequences well. After losing her job offer and getting served with court papers, she spiraled faster than any of us expected. Her parents, exhausted and embarrassed, froze her bank access and took full control of her finances. That's when things got ugly. She showed up at her parents' house one afternoon, screaming and demanding they fix this. Rachel was there and captured everything. Brianna barged in, tore through the living room, and started grabbing her mom's handbags off the shelf. "If you're gonna sell my stuff, then I'm selling yours," she yelled, clutching a Louis Vuitton bag like a weapon. Her dad, calm as ever, pulled out his phone and recorded the whole thing. Not out of spite, he's just finally learned to document her outbursts. When he tried to reason with her, she shrieked that they'd chosen Marcus over their own daughter. "You're not being punished for stealing," her mom said quietly. "You're facing the consequences of it." That made Brianna lose it. She picked up a porcelain vase, a family heirloom, and smashed it against the wall. The neighbors called the police. Again. This time, even the responding officers didn't bother with niceties. They remembered her. They didn't arrest her, but they issued a final warning. One more incident, and she'd be facing charges for destruction of property and harassment. Her parents didn't press charges, but they made it clear she was out. No more couch to crash on. No more emergency cards. No more excuses. They told her they'd pay for therapy if she wanted help, but that was it. So Brianna took to Instagram. Again, she posted a series of dramatic stories, one accusing her parents of emotional abuse, another claiming I was gambling away Elijah's surgery fund, completely false, and a third about Rachel stealing from department stores when they were teenagers. Lies. All of it. But this time, the internet didn't rally behind her. The comments were brutal. "Isn't this the same girl who bragged about using her cousin's medical fund to buy shoes? Maybe instead of playing victim, try being accountable. Girl, you literally toasted to stealing. What did you think was going to happen?" She tried deleting the posts. Then she made a backup account to keep spreading her story. Nobody followed. Nobody cared. The family's done tiptoeing. Cousins unfollowed her. Aunts stopped inviting her. Even her former best friends began ghosting her. And Rachel? She got the job Brianna lost. That same financial coordinator role opened up again 2 weeks later. Rachel applied, interviewed, and landed it. When Brianna found out, she showed up at the office screaming about betrayal and favoritism. Security escorted her out. Now she has a formal trespassing warning. Her fall from grace wasn't just public, it was total. Meanwhile, Elijah's recovery fund is growing again, slowly but steadily. Every designer item Brianna bought is getting listed and sold by her parents. They've set up direct deposit to send me monthly repayments. The balance is still short, but we're closing the gap. Elijah's surgery is back on the calendar. His calendar. He's been crossing off the days, each one with a little star. Last night I found a sticky note he'd drawn for me. A stick figure running with the words, "Soon that's me," written in shaky pencil. And Brianna, she's living at a hostel across town, jobless, estranged, and still posting vague quotes about toxic energy and cutting out negativity. Let her. Because this isn't about revenge anymore. It's about restoration. It's about Elijah getting his shot at a normal childhood, free from the weight of someone else's selfishness. We're almost there. Yesterday marked a turning point I didn't see coming. We were at the hospital for Elijah's final pre-op checkup. He was quieter than usual, clutching his little sketch pad, doodling superheroes with leg braces turned into jetpacks. The nurse walked us through the last steps: fasting, arrival time, what to expect post-op. And Elijah nodded solemnly like a soldier getting his orders. As we left the exam room, he looked up and said, "Dad, after the surgery, do I get to walk to school like the other kids?" I swallowed the lump in my throat and said, "Yeah, buddy, you will." Back at home, there was a package waiting at the door. No return address, but I recognized the handwriting right away. Brianna's. Inside was an envelope with $2,000 in cash and a shorthand-written note. "Marcus and Elijah, I know this doesn't make up for everything, but it's all I have left. I sold my laptop and a few other things. I'm sorry. I know sorry doesn't fix what I did, but it's all I can give right now." Brianna, I stood there, rereading the note while Elijah climbed onto the couch with a bowl of cereal. "Was that from cousin Brianna?" he asked. "Yeah," I said carefully. "She's still mad?" "No," I said. "I think she's just trying to figure things out." I didn't know what to feel. Anger, relief, closure? Maybe all of it at once. I added the money to Elijah's recovery fund. It's enough to cover a few months of physical therapy after surgery. Rachel stopped by that evening with balloons and a cake, Elijah's favorite, chocolate with blue frosting. "Celebration cake," she said, "for making it this far." While we were setting the table, Rachel pulled me aside. "You know she's at the shelter downtown now, right? Not doing great." "I heard," I said. "She's applying for jobs under a different name. Word's gotten around. People know what she did." I didn't respond. Part of me wanted to feel bad, but the larger part remembered Elijah limping across the park, pretending it didn't hurt, just to keep up with the other kids. That image always wins. Later that night, after Elijah went to bed, I took a walk down to the neighborhood bench, the one where I used to sit with my dad when life felt heavy. I thought about everything. About Brianna, her lies, her spiral, and now, whatever this was. A last-ditch attempt at redemption or just guilt with a price tag? My phone buzzed with a new text, unknown number. The message was short. "I know I don't deserve forgiveness, but I'm trying. I hope one day you'll believe that." I didn't reply. Not yet. Maybe not ever. Because forgiveness, I've learned, doesn't always need to come with reunion. Sometimes it just means letting go of the bitterness and holding on to what matters. This morning, Elijah woke up grinning. "It's today, right?" he asked, bouncing on the bed. "Yep, it's today." We packed his overnight bag together, checked off every item on the hospital list. He insisted on wearing his superhero pajamas to check in. As I write this, we're in the hospital room. Surgery's in an hour. He's humming to himself, swinging his legs over the side of the bed. No fear, just hope. I'm staring at the monitor, at the IV drip, at the little sneakers waiting by the door, the same ones he said he'll run in like lightning once he's healed. Brianna's name hasn't come up once, and that's okay, because this story was never about her. It's about a boy who never stopped believing his moment would come, and it's finally here.